found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I want the straight truth out of Brian Hartman right now. Brian, how much of that softball game did you watch last night? Straight truth me here, Brian. Straight truth me, Brian. Straight truth me.
I didn't watch a second of it.
I didn't either.
The teams just didn't interest me.
Nope.
We saw that last year.
Nope. Matt Dixon, how much of the softball game did you look at last night?
I don't even know who won, Tone.
Thank you. Isn't that
all due respect?
No, it's amazing. It's like these sports, when you make them about money, which they've made them about money. And Texas Tech is really annoying, but let's not fool ourselves. Texas has one of the best teams money can buy, too. And it's just a weird thing. I didn't watch a minute of it. In fact, I'll go you one better. I asked Laura, I said, when's it start? She said, oh, it was last night. I said, huh? She says, yeah, Texas won. I said, oh, okay. I had no idea. So Texas won last night. Brian, how much of the NBA game did you watch last night?
I went to bed late third quarter.
Mm-hmm. So you saw the Knicks run then?
They were starting to come back when I went to bed, and they were still – it kind of looked like they were getting momentum.
Yep.
And they haven't lost in 42 days. A playoff game. They've gone through an entire month of playoff games without losing. That is
Yeah, I got
kind
some.
of disgusting and amazing at the same time.
Yeah, I got some kind of bad. It's sort of like what the Vegas team is doing in hockey right now. I got some bad news for the Spur fans out there, including my boy Ben Zorio and Riley, my daughter's fiance. It ain't gonna happen. Those guys are too young. It's not their time. Matt Dixon, there have been 26 coaches. Whoa. There have been 26 coaches, assistant coaches, terminated in college baseball. And our pitching coach isn't one of them, Matt. Are we holding on to this guy?
I don't know. I think they might. Which again, I'm not going to judge whether that's a right or wrong move. I don't know the guy at all. I literally wouldn't even know him if he walked in the room without a hoodie on. But you do need to make some changes to how you coach your pitchers and how you're kind of whatever you're teaching your pitcher. You do need to make some changes there, whether that's with or without Josh Reynolds, because your pitching was just not good enough this year. So it's one of the key decisions that Josh Elander's got to make here, and really his first year as head coach and first off season as head coach. So that's a tough decision. I mean, we've talked about it with Josh Heupel about upgrading your staff and making some difficult decisions and being uncomfortable. And I think there's some similarities between the two there. Just maybe they're too nice of a guy and not cutthroat enough. Which can be a bad thing, but it is usually a good thing. So we'll see. I don't know what they're going to do there.
It's exasperating. I hear the exasperation in your voice, because here's the thing that's interesting, right? How do you sell what happened this year? And look, Jay Abernathy had a chance to start in the big time, and he's gone elsewhere. Krenzel had a chance to start in the big time and get a real opportunity this year, and he's gone elsewhere. Why? What are they doing with this pitching coach? This is a meritocracy. Tony Vitello, you say all the time to me, people think, oh, this is me. So first of all, our staff's great. Secondly, Frank Anderson's the secret sauce. How, if you're Josh Elander, and I love the former players are loyal to him, and they know that too. I want any of those guys. I want anybody listening to answer me this question, because I'm trying to figure this out. How do you, when nobody develops but one guy, the kid from Pennsylvania, how do you sell that? Now think about what they were doing before. When you went to Rutgers last year and you were in like a 3 or 4 team bidding war with Landon Mack, okay? Type of guy you need to get if you want to play at the high level. Now, if you want to put a team on the field, make Josh Reynolds, bring him back. I mean, that's okay. You can do that and play college baseball and probably make the tournament next year. But if you got designs on doing things that fill the stadium and get people excited, and this, well, I write today in the blog. By the way, Taylor wrote a great piece. I write today in the blog that if they don't make a change by tomorrow, they're not going to make a change, because they're jumping headlong into the portal now. But Matt, I just don't know how you sell no results, because if I'm recruiting against Tennessee, that's exactly what I'm telling people. I'm saying, hey, the Tennessee that you think Tennessee was the Tennessee that is, they're not going to develop you. It's exactly what I'd say, Matt. Whether it's true or not, it's exactly what I'd say.
What you can say. So
that is what you could say.
I do think it's interesting that you've got Appenzeller and Landon Mack, who are probably your two most prized returning arms.
Yes.
Announced they're coming back. So I think that's a little interesting that they would do that this early in the cycle. I mean, I guess that's never always finalized, but I'll be curious to see. They've retained all the key players that I would have put as like must keeps.
Yep.
Which I think is really big.
Yes.
I mean, would you like to keep Abernathy? Yes. I would kind of like to have kept Krenzel just to see if you could coach it out of him. But for both of those guys, it's probably best to move on and just find a different spot, maybe a less pressure spot. So, no, the pitching coach is a big deal that Elander's got to make. And then what the roster is going to be another one. But they've kept all the key guys that I think all of us would have wanted them to keep, which is a great sign early. Not to get off topic, but you're asking what we watched on TV last night. I rewatched that Wright State regional game from today's the 5-year anniversary of that. You had Chad Dallas got called up to the big leagues. He was Tennessee's starting pitcher that night. Didn't have a great game, but did enough. And again, that Drew Gilbert walk-off grand slam launched the program, and it's been the best program in the sport since then. That's what I watched last night. There's a little 15-minute highlight clip on YouTube from the Wheels account that I've probably watched 50 times over the years. But 5-year anniversary of the moment Tennessee baseball arrived on the college baseball landscape, and hopefully it continues to stay somewhere near the top of the sport.
Well put. I just wonder, and I'd like to hear from folks at 865-200-5402. Because here's the thing. A lot of the insider people were predicting that he would make a change, which would make sense, by the way, in a meritocracy.
Is he waiting on someone who is still in the tournament?
Hey, Bri, they're recruiting people right now. See, that's what doesn't make any sense about this. If you notice, I think I said 25 or 26 teams have already moved on. Michael Early, who's Josh Elander 1 year removed. That's what we're hoping, because A&M took a big step this year, but they fired their pitching coach as soon as the season ended. And that's a guy, Brian, you were telling me he's a former head coach. He came from the West Coast. They just let him go after a season.
He might have been with LSU before that, too. So he's been around some pretty good programs.
So the point is, in this deal, if you wait, money can only go so far. Perception is reality. People were. You think this guy here is going to land a Dolander with the season they just had? I mean, look, we're all entitled to our opinion, and I get it, and I don't need like my world to be an echo chamber. I never have. I like dialogue, and because there's more than one way to look at something. Kevin Smith, 1226. The topic is carrying way too much weight, in my opinion. These guys had to coach in an unheard of situation. If this repeats next year, then I'll be all over it. Hey, Kevin, if you wait a year, like Matt's saying, and your program slips a little more next year, then you're slipped. You still are kind of in a window here where you can still say, hey, we matter in this deal. And they have a big stadium, by the way. I would think that most season ticket holder fans, Matt, are expecting to have a new pitching coach. Would you say that's true? Most people that really, really care about it have to think.
I mean, I don't think they'd be opposed to it, no. But is Vandy making a change at pitching coach? Their pitching was a lot worse than Tennessee.
They had about 5 million injuries. You know that. Come on now.
How about LSU? What about LSU? They didn't even make the tournament. Is Jay Johnson making moves? Like, I mean, I don't know what the right answer to it is. You've got to fix what was wrong with your pitching staff. If that includes a new coach, then that includes a new coach. So I just don't know what the answer is. I don't know what all went wrong, but it seems like they were not coached properly this year. I do think that, whether that's a guy was thrust into a spot he wasn't ready for, wasn't prepared for, whether it's a guy that can't do it at this level. Like, I don't know the answer to that question. Only Elander and those around him do.
Well, that's why they make the big money. It's a weird deal. I know that, because what was really strange about it was nobody could pitch. Then again, as Matt said, nobody. A lot of teams in the league didn't have pitching. There wasn't knockout pitching all over the place. I just wonder what you sell, because I know what Jay Johnson can sell, Matt. I know what the guy at Vanderbilt can sell, Matt. This guy has nothing to sell, Matt. This guy wasn't the head coach when that went on here. If you're going to bring those two guys into it, those guys won national championships with their names on them, Matt. This guy didn't do that. This guy was a third base coach and the hitting instructor.
But whatever he sold it, Landon Mack and Cam Appenzeller bought it, at least, which is at least a good sign there. And that's your two best pitchers coming back.
That is a great point. No, that's a good point.
I mean, those two are coming back and came back early, like not flirting with anything. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's a really good sign.
Great point.
I think that's a sign of a kind of a healthy program.
I agree with that.
To be honest, I was kind of surprised that all of these key guys announced they were coming back, within 48 hours of the season being over?
I agree with that.
I think that's a really good sign of your program.
I think that is a incredible and a wonderful point that needs to be pointed out. Because I was worried, are you going to lose these guys too? Because here's the thing, there's no restrictions on these people. So obviously they had a real plan internally with these guys, and they got their hands on them early. Which leads me to believe if they had a plan early, then this pitching coach is going to stay. Because they had already moved on him. And that is the truth. You do have to re-recruit your roster really quickly in that sport.
They might have returned because they want to pitch for this pitching coach. Maybe there's something
that's
there
right,
that
Brian.
We don't see.
He's a great developer of
that may be
talent.
part of it.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. Guy did a really nice job. I agree with you. So we have that to talk about. The Coleman thing remains whatever it remains. He's not coming back, but that's kind of a mess.
Can Chaz Coleman pitch?
Matt, what's your excitement level right now? And I want the honest truth for the Super Regionals this weekend, and who you riding with from here?
I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, Tennessee not being in it is disappointing, but it's still a great event. I'm riding with West Virginia. As soon as Tennessee was eliminated Saturday morning, West Virginia became my team.
Yeah.
So I'm riding country roads to Omaha. Kind of curious to see what Georgia does. They're probably the favorite now, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
With the top two kind of super teams gone, and Georgia's, even though the metrics weren't there, they were right up there with those teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, to dominate the SEC like they did and playing at home, I'll be stunned if they lose to State. But West Virginia's who I'm riding for, and let's have fun with a little Rucker Troy in Omaha. That'll be kind of a cool story to see too.
That's kind of fun. This whole thing. How many heavyweights guys are still around of the 16 left?
Five of the top 8 seeds are still around, except Florida.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Auburn, who came out of the losers bracket.
Wow.
Crap. That Alabama team, that was awful. and was the second worst fielding team in the tournament, is hosting a super regional against 4-seed St. John's. So that Alabama team that has no business playing in Omaha is probably going to get there.
Sports are really random, guys.
They made 6 errors in one of their games in the regional and still won. Alabama did.
This shortstop, hey, Matt, they have a shortstop who's literally like a sieve. You hit the ball to him and anything can happen. And he's supposed to be a really high-level player. They have a shortstop over there who doesn't want the ball hit to him.
Yes.
I mean, and they're going to play it.
He'll probably be like the College World Series MVP.
Yes.
Because that's how the sport works, yeah.
Well, the thing you were saying the other day about the guy who, there's one guy in this deal who, I saw something the other day in the NHL. There's a guy that plays for Vegas, and I was thinking about you the other day. He had 8 goals in the regular season, okay? He has 11 right now in the playoffs. 11! The time it matters the most. He's got like a magic wand in his hand. Couldn't score. He couldn't score all year. He couldn't hit an open net. And then you got the New York Knicks. Brian, did anybody think that the New York Knicks would be in the finals right now and 3 games away from winning a world championship 3 months ago? Anybody?
Not
Brian?
Even Stephen A. Smith and Spike Lee.
Nobody thought that
to this point.
And so the randomness of sport, it's still there. And it's very fun. Just get in the tournament.
And the NBA is something where randomness just doesn't happen that much. It's usually a favorite heavy results.
Correct.
But the Knicks running off what they've done, that's from a 3 seed. That's very random.
Yep.
That's more random than it's ever been.
Yep. You're right. What isn't random is that softball deal. It's hard for Cinderella teams to crack that deal because those big time pitchers are making the big time money. And this gal that starts for Texas, Bry, I mean, she looks like somebody's, I don't know what you would say, almost like a librarian. She gets on the mound. She's unbelievable, Brian.
Well, Katie Stewart is what Karen Weekly has always lacked. And she's hit over 30 homers. Yep. And I just don't think the Lady Vols have ever had anyone who can do that.
Go get a big bopper. So we have a lot to talk about. If you want to get in 865,
need a base. Need a base hitting in the 5-hole.
865-200-5402 if you want to get in. And then we've got the Reynolds thing. Are they going to make the move? Are they not going to make the move? And then the overall sports year just ended at Tennessee. And I want to ask you, what letter grade you give it? When you look at the sports year, what letter grade are we giving the overall sports year that we just witnessed here? Another side topic. I was reading an article that my friend Jim Burns sent me. And Burnsy said that we were talking, we're both soccer heads. And we both kind of grew up loving the World Cup and in the old North American Soccer League days. And soccer back then, was kind of exotic and it was a little different. And now you got all these, no offense, but a bunch of douchey people that won't grow the game. They would rather sit there and be better than you while they're sitting next to you at a bar when you're trying to watch it, or people that try to get into it. But there are some really douchey soccer people. The World Cup is here. I used to close my eyes and envision when I saw it was going to be this year. and think, man, Philadelphia's getting a couple matches. I'm going. I got to tell you something. I'm getting ready to go to Philly in a couple weeks. My niece is getting married. Very excited to go. I haven't been back to Pennsylvania in 2 years because I lost my back last year. I couldn't walk most of last summer when I generally take vacation. I mean, forget getting on an airplane. I was laying on the ground, getting about 5 minutes sleep. Those of you that have been through that, like literally 45 minutes of sleep a night. And so I'm going to the place that's going to have the World Cup games there. And I'm going to be there for maybe a few weeks. And I just don't have any juice for it. Brian Hartman, you're a soccer guy. Me and Cinco were talking about this yesterday. I don't know what it is. I don't have any juice for it. Like, I would have thought, man, I'd be excited to go see a game just to say I saw a game, and I just don't. What's happened to that, Bri?
Well,
because it's happening to all of us.
I think part of it is the TV deal with Fox. They don't seem to. It isn't the same as it was with ESPN, and for all ESPN's thoughts, they did put on a spectacular production when they last had the World Cup. But when you move it to someplace like Qatar and can't play it in its traditional part of the calendar, and we haven't seen it in the summer, which it should always be played in the summer, in 8 years. And I don't know if that sort of stemmed the momentum, but putting it in December just wasn't becoming to what it is. It was out of place.
Wow.
And now it's even in the United States. And folks like Cinco can't get excited about it, as excited as you would think.
It's on our shores. It's on our shores. All right, let's go to the phones. The other thing is they've let too many teams in. Like everybody makes it now, except Italy. Italy still can't make it, even with the expanded field. I don't know how Italia managed that, but more power to them, I guess. We'll go to the phones. Hey, Matt, there's something from OSU Sports Extra. In the Big 12, they say Arizona State had 34 scholarship baseball players this season. Oklahoma State had 13. That's from the Tulsa World, Matt. That's their reporting today. Do you believe that, Matt?
I would be shocked at that for a program like Oklahoma State, because they've got some.
They have history.
They have a lot of history. Besides T. Boone Pickens, they have to have other benefactors. I mean, Matt Holliday's brother coaches the team. But I do think that that's a factor that I think has gone underreported of how many schools, even though you're allowed to give full scholarships now, a lot of programs, I would say the majority of Division I baseball programs still don't have anywhere close to full scholarships they give out. I mean, like that Little Rock team this weekend, I'd be stunned if they have more than 11 or 12 like they've usually had. So, I mean, I don't know how Oklahoma State would count that, but I would be stunned if that's the case. Wow. If they only have 13 full scholarships. That's insane.
It's a reporting from the Tulsa World.
They even field a team?
It's a reporting. They
made a regional final with that.
How did they do that?
In the Tulsa World. It's in the Tulsa World today. Another thing that's in there. Hey, one of these genius companies, and I invited Maury Hanks on to talk about this, but he's indisposed today. One of these genius companies thought it'd be a really good idea to hold Virginia NC State Week 0 football game in Brazil. Now, I'm sure there's a big clamoring for that. They got word from the promoter they're not getting $1. So they're moving that game back to on Virginia's campus, and they're going to play at Week 0.
Oh, sounds
how
like
about
somebody
that, Brian?
Found an adult in the room to talk some sense into everybody.
Let's go to the phone. I mean, What are we doing? We got to play college football in Brazil. Like, what? Is there a need for that? Hello and welcome in. You. By the way, when the Eagles
certainly not between those two teams.
When the Eagles started their season in Brazil a couple years ago, they told the Eagle fans don't go out at night. Now, that sounds like a great place to go. And they told the families of the teams, stay in this perimeter. We'll keep you protected. That sounds inviting. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony B, what's wrong with you this morning, man? You sound like you're all wound up about something.
I love you, man. I'm fired up for some
man,
Florida football.
Go. Hey, listen, how you doing, brother?
Florida, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the kid that might be your quarterback is a guy whose father I went to Tennessee with. It's funny you guys aren't on our schedule anymore. Matt, when do we see them? When do we see Florida again? Pardon my ignorance here.
2027, bro.
2027.
Yeah, next year.
It's every other year with Florida.
Will it be here or there, Bri? Do we know?
It's going to be here. It's going to be here and then there in 29.
Rob Philo might get to see his son Aaron compete in Neyland Stadium. You talk about something that's got to just be bizarre. Anyway, this guy is from Bucks County, Pennsylvania originally. We drove back and forth to Tennessee together in my little candy apple red Subaru back in the day, which Subarus now are faint. I would like to get another Subaru, but I'm afraid what people would think of me if I had one.
Hey, man, those are the best cars on the road, no doubt.
I love Subarus.
So you and your boy was a regular Smitty and Hoppy, huh? From Sanford and Son, riding around.
Oh, that thing was a hoopty, dude.
White chocolate.
Dana.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, baseball season wasn't. Both our teams suck, really. You know what I mean? We enough said about baseball, man. Let's get on to spring practice.
Hey, Matt, I was not surprised Florida didn't get out of their deal. They didn't impress me all year.
Me either.
I was surprised the way that it did that their pitching just kind of fell apart on them the entire weekend.
Yep.
I mean, they had frontline starters. They won their first two games and had the pitching lined up. And then Troy just hammered them 2 games in a row. I was shocked by that.
It makes no sense.
They didn't get out. I thought they were Omaha bound, to be honest. I actually had them playing in the championship series.
Yep. They're telling me that
I was kind of shocked.
They're telling me Subaru is not a good car. I don't know if Subaru is a good car now or not. The car I had was a great car. Candy apple red. It was a station wagon. It was a beautiful automobile, man. It had those mesh seats in it.
I'm telling you, they're the safest cars on the road today.
I loved it. I loved it. That thing, I rode that thing. Well, I rode that thing till I didn't change the oil in it one day and the engine fell out of it. Seized up.
Well, hey, damn, gas went down to 365, man. What's your boy up there doing? But listen, Tony B, what about those Gators in that recruiting, boy? What about those Gators in that recruiting?
What's recruiting?
Y'all getting ready to see the football recruiting.
I don't even know what that is anymore.
What?
You know what Tennessee's doing? They're picking off. They're going to go for some of the top players in the country, sort of like. And we've been talking about this, but it's a reason they've sat there. They let Clemson take a kid out of the Halls community. They let a legacy kid go to where did Simon's kid go, guys? Alabama, maybe? I don't know. But they're letting some guys
Alabama.
And our fan base is very upset with it. And, they're finally going to do what I want them to do. You take 3-star developmental kids. You take 5-star kids. You stay, and kids are going to play right away. And you stay away from those expensive 4-star players. And you go get yourself a plan, scour other rosters, and attack the transfer portal. They're going to do that heading into 2027, I believe.
So what you doing? Y'all taking a bite of the apple like Indiana, huh? Y'all trying to get Indiana's blueprint is what you're trying to tell me. And sometimes, Tony B, I'm just going to tell you that don't work. And what worked for one might not work for other people.
Oh, I think that's true. Look, if I was at University of Florida, I might not have that same approach. Look, I'll tell you what. I think our entire panel here, we're all impressed with the hire Florida made. I think you guys are in good hands. I think Summerall's going to win there. I don't know how soon they're going to win there. I don't know what's left on their roster. I don't know how that's going to look. But I think Florida is going to win there.
It's going to be a lot of winning there, Tony B. It's going to be a lot of phone calls to you.
That's all right.
It's going to be a lot of them to you.
Hey, you're always welcome here. You're a friend of the program. You add a little spice, which I like. And, you know, when you come on here and try to debate, though, it's like a guy with a fork in his hand coming at somebody that's got a howitzer.
Hey, man, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be John Wick with that fork. You feel me? So you also, the big guns don't always win.
Florida, in a battle of wits, I would tie you into a figure four leg lock, my friend.
Hey, you're a little bit too light in the ass, Tony B. But
that's true.
I give you an A for effort. Son.
Amen to that, my brother.
Yes,
hey, Florida, when I see these women walking around with butt implants, I often think to myself, what would it feel like to have another 10 pounds back there?
Man, no. That ain't
you think
my
I would
thing,
look good
man.
on me, Florida, if I got a butt implant?
No, man. Hey, no, bro. You getting these BBLs and these TDLs and all that old shit, Tony B, you going to be in trouble. Miss Laura ain't going to stand for that.
Florida, you're the man. Thank you. Matt, what kind of seasons Florida have this year, in your humble opinion? They're not on our schedule. They're off our radar. Think this guy has a pretty good first year, or does it take him a few years?
He'll have a decent first year. They'll probably win a game or two that are impressive, and also probably drop one that they probably shouldn't. So yeah, they'll probably be 7 or 8 wins.
Back to the phones we go.
I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, to be honest.
And that's where I'm at. They're off my radar, and I'm glad. Brian, are you missing Florida? Are you glad, Brian, that we don't see them this year, Brian?
Well, I like the fact that we get a year off from them having won 3 or 4.
I want a break.
That's what I like the most.
I want a break. I'm just glad we're doing something different now in the league. I hope it works out.
They got the upper hand on them. That's one good thing.
The crazy thing is we've got some games on our schedule this year. We've got that Auburn game is going to haunt Heupel. They have got to win that game. I don't know how many games you have to win this year. You have got to win with Comrade Golish coming to town. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, welcome in. Hey, my brother, welcome in.
Hey. So you asked the question, what will we give the overall grade of all the
letter
sports?
grade for the year. We've gone through all these sports. Yep.
It's kind of I don't know. It's kind of a weird year. I think my grade's going to be carried by basketball in terms of how far they made it the off season they've had, and then how baseball at least made it to the tournament, and softball getting to the semis again. It's between a C+ and a very low B-. I'm wanting to say C+ because football upset us. Baseball should have been better. I don't know. Football just didn't do enough to really jump the grade up for me.
Well, yeah, and you know, if you were doing a grade for an athletic department, is football? Hey, Matt, is football going to carry the most weight? Because I'm an all sports guy. I look at football just as a sport. I know that's different than a lot of people. I mean, I love college football, but just because the football team didn't perform at a very high level, I'm still open to the fact that the basketball team had a really good season. No. What do you think, guys? Matt, Brian, what do you all think? Football, the fact that football this year kind of slid and you had that sort of tweener year, it doesn't hurt the overall year for me.
I mean, I think football's weighted the most. It just depends on how, I guess it's up to each person how much they weight that. But I think football carries a pretty big weight because it's the one that typically you're invested in the most.
Which is a point our caller makes here.
Well, let's ask this question.
Go ahead.
What if the basketball team had continued on the path that we thought they were headed for?
Ooh, and like
say
had
a
would
second round exit. How would that affect the overall
You heard
grade
the caller there.
instead of going to the Elite Eight?
I heard you make a noise.
If we would have,
yeah.
If the basketball team would have done what I thought we were going to do early in the year, which is maybe around a 32 exit, this grade would be really bad.
D minus.
Probably
D minus.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. It feels like, and we never know. The football team might be very good this year. We have no idea. Like I'll say all that. It doesn't look good for them on paper, but we don't play games on paper. Kind of like this tournament we're talking about with baseball. Kind of like what's going on in these pro sports right now. You don't play games on paper. So from your thought though, we might be looking at a similar type of deal here because it looks like the men's basketball team. It looked like Rick Barnes is going to carry the banner once again this year in Rocky Top. That's what it feels like from here. That's what it feels like I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like from here.
That's what it feels like to me. I'm not going to lie. I'm more excited for basketball season than I am the overall football season. There's some things that I'm interested in for football.
Yeah.
Like there's a kid that I used to coach when he was in high school in Chattanooga his first 2 years at Tennessee now. He's in his second year. I'm wanting to see him do good and want to see how Faison does because I think Faison's got some pieces around him. He's not in the worst situation to be a freshman going in.
No, he's in a tough. He's in a unforgiving schedule though.
Yeah,
and that's going to
be.
He's
at least got some receivers to throw to.
Yep.
We've had good running backs, so.
Yep.
I think he's got some guys around him that are going to help out a lot, at least.
But your point is well taken from the perspective that I think most people are looking at football this year and going, just keep me interested till November. I don't know whether that's right or not.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's fair or not. Who knows?
In a way, yeah. I feel like that's how a lot of people are looking at it.
Yeah. And I don't – and look, I'm kind of impressed with the way they've handled this off-season situation compared to last season's off-season situation. I think this strength and conditioning coach is going to have an impact. Now, how quick of an impact? I mean, he got there in January. I don't know. But I think if he stays in place by 2027, he's going to have a big impact because I hear he does not play around with people. And they have not placated.
We've had some guys that want to play games.
Thank you.
27 will also be year 2 of the Jim Knowles defense as well.
That's right.
So when you combine those two, you have a chance to make a huge jump.
That's right.
Defensively. And I mean, you're going to make a big jump this year from last year, no matter what, but then you can actually be potentially a top 25, maybe even top 15, top 10 type defense in 27.
Some people, Matt, don't want to hear this, but this year feels bridgy and it feels like a year for growth. And I know some people don't want to hear that. They're kind of magical thinkers, and that's fine. Be a magical thinker. I'm not telling anybody how to act, but or how to cheer or whatever. But I'm like the caller. This is a year where I'm going to be watching certain things. Look, I want to win every game. When you have our budget and you have our the advantages we have, you can't be middling for long. I think 2027 will be a crucial, borderline make or break year for that head coach. Would that be a year 7? That's what it feels like.
That's my thing. 2027 is my make or break year.
Yeah, that's what it feels like for him. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I would want to say this year, but with all things considered, it's hard to say that the more I think about it. Just like, he didn't really ask for the quarterback situation he's in. Didn't really help it this offseason, but he didn't ask for Nico to pull what he did. So I'm not really giving him a pass, but I'm more understanding, I guess you could say.
Fair.
But 2027, like, throw Faison Brandon in there. McIntyre's not the future. Brandon is going to have the opportunity to be the future. He's got the build for it. I think his competitive nature is really good from everything I've seen, too. And let him learn. I'm excited to see him learn. And the best way to learn is get out there and play. But 2027, we better have somebody ready.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, here's a really good point that somebody brought up. bender of strings. If we keep building rosters full of portal guys, can strength and conditioning coaches have an impact? Oh, absolutely. Sure they can. I'll ask you this. The kid from Cal that just won the Heisman Trophy, first pick in the NFL draft, under this strength and conditioning coach, stood up there at the Heisman ceremony and shouted out Owings and said, hey, I gained 25 pounds of whatever, however that kid put it, the way that kid talks. Lean muscle mass and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this strength and conditioning coach had a tremendous impact on him. So, yes, they matter. They matter. Matt, can you name the last strength and conditioning coach we had here? Because that guy was literally invisible. And our team looked invisible when they played Vanderbilt that day. And they ran us over on the football field, which should never happen here.
Yeah, I actually can't think of the guy's name right now. No.
Thank you. It's kind of like, look, we keep, like last night's game.
That guy Butch had that had the beer gut.
Oh my God, I loved him.
That guy looked like he was playing pool.
Out of condition, strength and conditioning coaches that look like they're on your bowling team.
I mean, that like, is there a worse look than that? Just the optics of that is insane. Like your strength and conditioning coach is overweight and doesn't look like he could run 100 yards.
The first thing.
That guy needs to be a total meathead.
The first thing this strength and conditioning coach would do to that strength and conditioning coach is take away his sugared Gatorade packets. Very first thing. Tona B, inviting you to experience the Collins Insurance difference. And what's that? How about multiple top carriers that you can trust? Like Erie. They underwrite our entire Raymer studio and everything around it. Travelers, Hartford, Hanover, Progressive. We do what's right because we care. In today's technology-driven world, maintaining the human touch, Bruce Springsteen, is one of our main focuses. We deliver the best customer service humanly possible. We give you someone that you can actually call or sit in front of. Imagine that. No call centers here. Experience the Collins Insurance difference. Check them out at collinsinsuranceTN.com, and they're Mrs. B approved. Collins Insurance. TB with a few serious questions. You feeling tired? Foggy, you gaining weight, or you just don't feel like yourself anymore? Hormone therapy is finally becoming mainstream, but it's truly something my man, Dr. Tom Rogers, has been doing for over 20 years. Dr. Rogers at Performance Medicine wants you to feel your best, and he treats both males and females. So guys, we can do this as a family. At Performance Medicine, hormone therapy is personalized to you. If you're dealing with hot flashes or mood swings or low energy, decreased libido, fatigue, muscle loss, stubborn weight gain, it might be time to find out what your body really needs. No shame in this game. You can do something about all the above. Performance Medicine offers customized hormone treatment plans based on comprehensive lab testing with options like pellets, creams, patches, oral medications, and injections. The goal is simple. Help you feel like yourself again. Next level. Make your life better. Take it to the higher plane. Visit performancemedicine.net. Schedule your consultation today. You'll feel your best with Performance Medicine.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition, top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got 2 locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, when you schedule any HVAC or plumbing repair, your service fee is waived with the completed repair. That means expert help fast without the extra cost just to show up. Our certified technicians will quickly diagnose the issue and provide reliable solutions to make your home comfortable again. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when help matters most. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. Schedule your repair today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Service fee waived with completed HVAC or plumbing repair. Restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw, available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Like our 2026 football Vol, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times 80 proof of vodka delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka, T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved and will go the extra mile for you because Chucky Mack is a servant of the people and my consigliere to the throne, celebrating over 32 years of serving living volunteers. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. Call 588-4448. That's 588-4448. Cedar Bluff Plumbing. So we started out today just noting that our season sports-wise is over. Now, obviously, nothing never ends. These seasons never end. And now we have the baseball portal to watch and how they're going to put this team together and what's going to happen with the pitching coach, which we talked about earlier in the show. Then we've got I didn't look at the softball thing last night. Like it's weird when your team gets beat. Sometimes the event's good enough that I'm going to keep tuning it in. Like the baseball thing, I had no problem turning on and watching the baseball. And Taylor today gave Berkey and them a shout out. That squeeze play, Matt, is a great way to consume that tournament. Terrific way to consume that tournament.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome.
It is phenomenal.
That's a great organic thing that they did.
Yeah.
And Rooney and Berkey are just great together.
Be a great way to.
It's such a great setup too.
A sun up to sundown college football version of that would be really great, by the way.
Yeah. Although somebody pointed out to me that baseball might be the best sport to have something like that because of the slow pace to it. And you really don't, it's hard to miss things. Whereas in football and things, you can kind of miss things pretty quickly, but baseball, you're able to kind of, because of the pace of the play, you're able to kind of lock in on things and analyze things in the moment a lot better, which is probably a good point I hadn't thought of. But no, that squeeze play is awesome. The only time that I really have been turned off by college baseball recently was that 2022 World Series. After Tennessee got beat by Notre Dame, I couldn't watch that. But other than that, yeah, I've been locked in. I've been locked in on college baseball ever since it became a TV product back in the late 2000s.
By the way, Texas and Texas Tech both bought their teams. It's just kind of boring. It's a great sport. It's like watching the LA Dodgers hold a trophy. I mean, I get it. Speaking of the LA Dodgers, and then we'll go back to the phones. The things that this guy is doing right now, this Ohtani guy, is just, we don't appreciate him, do we? We do not appreciate this guy. It's bizarre. Okay. We don't see him. Did he gamble on baseball? I don't know. I mean, Brian, is this guy any good? This Ohtani guy? His last three starts on the mound, then we go to the phones. He's allowed a total of 5 hits. Now, ESPN's too busy talking about the Lakers and the Knicks today, and I share this with you, and what the Dallas Cowboys, what Jerry Jones, if he had peanuts in it or not. But Ohtani's last 3 starts on the mound, he allowed a total of 5 hits. In those games, he also collected 5 hits as a hitter. His ERA is now 0.74, and he's hitting .301 for the season. In Major League Baseball, he's leading the National League in ERA and on-base percentage, Matt. Is this guy any good? Last night,
he's all right.
He's okay.
He might stick.
Last night, he ran the bases. Ready for this? He was on base 5 times last night and threw 7 shutty. And he was playing in one of the toughest places to play.
Yeah, I watched his last start before last night. He hit a leadoff home run and then threw, I think it was 5 or 6, no-hit innings on the mound.
I mean, what are we doing?
And he didn't have his command. Like, he really wasn't even that good. Like, and that the broadcast was talking about it, how uncomfortable he looked out there. And he, five no-hit innings and, hit a leadoff home run and made it look easy and looked uncomfortable doing it. It's insane how good he is.
Now, do I think he was gambling? Go to the phones. Hello, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Happy Thursday, gentlemen.
Hey, congratulations, man. Are you going up to West Virginia?
No.
Really? Because Brian's calling him Cal Poly. Brian's been calling that team Cal Poly in your honor. We're wondering how warm that suit's going to be because they have 2 day games. Brian, are you wondering how warm the suit would be like on a 90-degree day? And it's going to get warm in Morgantown. Should we do a GoFundMe for him to send him up there as Cal Poly? Because they're not going to have many fans, Brian.
Some of the West Virginia fans, because they wear those Davy Crockett uniforms with the muskets.
What would they do, you think, if you showed up with a Cal Poly stuff on and you had the gorilla suit on at your size? How do you think that would go up there in Morgan? I bet they would love you, man.
It's sitting in my closet.
See?
The second one's sitting in my closet. It's ready to go.
See?
But Tony, I like those GoFundMes, but I think I could make more money if doing a GoFundMe to put me in the costume and coach the football team.
This guy here, I'm trying to have fun with him, Matt, and he's going below the belt.
Tony, question for you.
I'm trying to have fun with this guy, and he went and kicked me right in my junk.
Tony, I've never heard of any. I did hear you a couple of days ago saying that you're just concerned. You just want 2027 to get going.
Yep.
You're looking forward to 2027.
It's a bridge year, football. Yep.
Tony, there's no such thing as a bridge year in football anymore.
Hang on. Let's keep it live and legal. Stay right there.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
You say that, but there is such a thing as a bridge year. Now, it's a matter of will the fans take it as a bridge year? Like, if you crash and burn here, does that hurt your 2027? It could. Like, if you throw up a 5 or 6 win season, it could stunt you for 2027. Bridge year has to be still presentable. That's the art of the bridge year here.
We're going into our 6th year, and we don't have a quarterback. I've never heard of an offensive genius coach.
No, we have
that can't get a quarterback.
No, we have a 5-star quarterback who's an excellent prospect. That's what this kid is.
Didn't we say that 4 years ago?
Well, the kid led us to a playoff.
Yeah, and the kid was better his first day on campus than the day he left.
But look at him now. He's going to be a breakout star at UCLA, I think, this year.
I don't know, but I would rather have him now than what we got coming in. We don't know what we got.
Did you get a chance to see him at the baseball regional when you were out there taking the UCLA regional, Cal Poly? That is so idiotic. Brian came up with it. Cal Poly.
Tony, that's almost as good as, remember right before the NCAA basketball tournament, the Tennessee team was practicing at the gym floor, said Bruins something.
What? How, Matt, how did he artfully do that?
Remember they were practicing
Hang on.
The team?
Matt, how did he artfully get at the Bruins? How did he do that, Matt? That was very artful of him, wasn't it?
That's a Hall of Fame caller.
Yeah.
Move there, Tom.
I mean, that's some real art.
Tony,
For you to somehow
Cal Poly Grizzlies.
For you to somehow kick me in my jimmies about this year and say that there's no such thing as a bridge year. There absolutely is such a thing as a bridge year. For you to say what you're saying about this football coach who's had some pretty high highs here. Chase Nick Saban into retirement. Last time I checked.
Bruins is, I'll say it publicly.
And now we're back to Bruins. You guys.
Bruins is he's by far the best coach on campus.
You better take your temperature, son.
He's by far the best coach on campus.
I'm starting to think he sunbathed in that suit yesterday, Brian, when he starts singing for Bruins like that.
Let's get the fork out of our coach's hand and let him go recruit.
To the people that just found the show, okay, and there are thousands. Why are you calling our basketball coach Bruins? Explain that to them.
Well, the day after he ripped our soul out on Purdue on a terrible call, he went to the press and said, we did, Lamonte Turner did foul Carson Edwards. And then after a week later, he gets on the press and said if UCLA would have paid him, he would be coaching them. So I call him Rich Bruins.
Brian, do you have anything you want to say to this clown?
Hartman, can I ask you a question? Another thing I heard yesterday is Hartman said, I don't count UCLA or Oregon part of the Big Ten. Did he? I think he said that.
Yes, he did.
Well, why is he the same guy that celebrates Texas and Oklahoma winning a football game?
I don't celebrate Texas or Oklahoma winning a football game, totally,
You do for the SEC. You celebrate them now.
They're more part of the SEC than Oregon and UCLA are part of the Big Ten because of the states at least consecutively, geographically join.
Holy Joe celebrates Titansville and backs Titansville forever. Hartman,
you're out of here. A little too wordy on your part. The original part of your call was pretty good though, and you need to get over there in that gorilla suit and be Cal Poly. I think that'd be legendary. Matt, would they put a camera on him if he went there as Cal Poly?
Would they wouldn't take it off. They'd get the camera they kept on the Kentucky pitcher's mom who could smell the menthol through the TV on. The Cal Poly Gorillas in a super regional. No, Poly Joe in West Virginia would be a perfect fit.
Poly.
He would. To be honest, we don't need to send him up there because I don't think he'd ever come back. He would just get so ingrained in the culture up there, he'd stay.
Mm-hmm. Poly, you really ought to think about it. Now, I know Dave Raymond, when he was a Philly fanatic, said he would pack ice packs in his costumes. You might want to think about packing some ice. And if you go up there, you might ought to think about packing some other things. But packing some ice would, I think, you really ought to think about that. We ought to go fund me for him. You know, somebody ought to start a website calling GoFundMe where you pay for people's excursions. But let's go back to the phones. Well, I'll tell you what about our fans, Matt. When you look at the chat and you watch these chat boards, people get really triggered about Heupel, don't they? They either get like overly defensive or he's got these critics that are already done with him. Do they remember what it was like before he got here, Matt? Or they just forget that?
No, that just gets overlooked, which I think is just what happens with fans in sports. You overlook the good times and kind of take them for granted. But no, it is weird. It was weird. We went through it in 2023, coming off that 22 season where you were incredible and had a cheat code the first half of the year.
Yep.
And then the next year, it was like that never happened.
Never happened.
So yeah, it is weird. I mean, I think most are kind of somewhere in the middle, which is a huge range anyway, between thinking the guy's the best coach in the sport versus he needs to be fired or calling him jughead or whatever. Like most fans are reasonable and somewhere in the middle, but it is weird that the discourse it's always just so extreme, and
it's weird.
It's just really tiring.
It is tiring. What I wonder about him too is if he does himself a disservice by being milquetoast, bland, boring. I mean, he's not coffee. He's like dairy creamer. He doesn't even try. Like when he goes to these press conferences, he doesn't even try to show his personality. I wonder if that is the reason so many people have circled him, because he's done a nice job. I mean, he's not.
I wish he was better with the media, and not even just the press.
He doesn't even try.
I mean, you're talking to your fans when you do that.
Yeah, he doesn't even. He shows like zero.
I wish he did more media stuff, like fan friendly stuff. You talk about like that juice show that a caller mentioned yesterday. You got Mike Keith back. They had an opportunity this offseason to try to improve some of that and kind of get him in front of a camera, and
he won't do it.
And kind of. And they didn't do it for, I'm sure he probably just doesn't want to, but it would have been a nice move, a PR move to make, especially going into the season you're kind of projected to have.
Because people like this Daniel Webb guy that are just way over the top critics of his, they point to his reticence with the fans as a reason he gets no respect from the fans, because he's cultivated this image in our fan base that he's just a goofy marshmallow. And that can't be who he is. It can't be. It can't be. But let's go back to the phones and get our next call in.
The problem is he's kind of more normal than most coaches and kind of a down-to-earth guy, which is why he doesn't do any of this stuff, but he kind of needs to a little bit. He needs to get out of his comfort zone a little bit more. It would be nice to see that, but obviously it's not going to happen.
Tim Oliver said the man does not get the respect of somebody who's 24-11 in the SEC against teams not named Georgia. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. Good point there, Tim. Hi, you're on the air.
Gorilla bozo.
Hi, you're on the air.
That's a good one to follow. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Greg, you sound far away today. You're so far away. Why doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore?
Hope everybody's doing well. Can you hear me better?
There you go, Greg. Lean right into it. Let me hear those golden pipes that we hear, man, on those calls on the Twitter sphere.
Hey, I've got one thing to say.
Gonna be so fun.
In reference to the college baseball regions and stuff.
Yep.
Another player from Columbia State on Troy. He's a pitcher. Back early in May, he was brought in to throw against Alabama in 2 innings, I think it was.
Yep.
Dylan Alonzo is his name. And he struck out 4, had no runs, 1 hit. And he's on the Troy team hosting a super regional. Just wanted to give him a shout out.
Hey, Greg, question for you. When you see one of your guys that you've done a game for, right, that rises up there, do you feel a sense of ownership in that? Because you should. Because you work tirelessly. You work tirelessly in your efforts as a play-by-play guy to put those guys over. You provide a service for their families to be able, and I'm being serious now, You and all these broadcasters provide a service for these families to follow these kids in their journeys. And then you get a chance to see that kid on ESPN or see Berkey and them, but you knew him when. Those guys are front runners. Those guys are front runners jumping on his glory now. But you knew the guy when, Greg. Do you feel you should feel a sense of ownership with that, or proud of those kids?
I'm very proud of them because I've seen them move their way in the 2 years at Columbia State, and then go to a D1 team such as Troy. You know, Troy never got in the tournament before that I remember anyway. But and then they're there, and he's part of it, and he helped beat Alabama in early May. I think he saw a little action in the region. I'm not sure he saw a lot. He's a reliever, big dude, about 6'4", but he's I see what he put himself through at Columbia State. And just like a few years ago when Ole Miss won, it was I can't remember his name now. He's a pitcher that struck out the side that won it in the 9th inning. He struck out the side that day for Ole Miss. But anyway.
And the kid pitched at Columbia?
Yeah.
Shout him out. That's incredible, man. You mean the year that Ole Miss won the World Championship of college baseball?
Yes, sir.
That's phenomenal, man. And you did
Brandon
his games?
Johnson.
You
Brandon
did
Johnson.
I remember Brandon. You did his games?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. Matt, you got to say that's pretty cool, what Greg gets to do. That's pretty neat.
And they, you know.
It's good baseball, by the way. That's good baseball. Yeah. Go ahead, Greg.
You're not looking at NIL money.
No.
There's no money at all.
No, those kids want, you know what those kids want, Greg? They want an opportunity. They want to play the sport. That's what sports used to be. Okay? I want to compete against you. Mano a mano. I don't need you to kiss my ass. I don't need to stay in a great hotel. I'm hungry. I just want an opportunity to continue my career. I got time for that, Greg. I'm being serious, man. I got time for that.
It's awesome. I mean, this is my 20th year, and I've seen a bunch of guys at Columbia State over the years.
Yep.
And, but I did want to just shout out him.
Yep.
But I heard you had some trouble on Spaces, so I lost you a few times. But anyway, I saw I heard, you know, the comments in reference to Heupel.
Yep.
And I can really sympathize with the people that are criticizing him if they're longtime Tennessee football fans like yours truly. I mean, it's not what you did for me a long time ago. It's what you did for me lately.
Yep.
And, you know, he had guys that got beat on the edge. I don't know how many times, no speed. We used to have a lot of speed on defense.
Yep.
We lost all the speed on defense. I mean, it's got to be a lot better this year, in my opinion. It needs to be a lot better. And I saw a couple of games that they put out on one of the betting places, and has Texas a 3-point favorite and Alabama a 1.5-point favorite already. So, but I can I can sympathize with the people that are criticizing him.
Oh, well, you're kind of a hater yourself, yeah.
Well, I'm not a hater.
What I don't understand about you guys is you don't give them credit for things, though.
I do give him credit. I give him credit.
No, you don't. You guys don't give him credit.
But he's a $10 million dude.
See, that's what we're doing. That's what it comes back to. They're all overpaid, Greg. Every one of those guys is overpaid.
I agree. They are. Every one of them.
Yeah. So what?
Overpaid.
Yeah. So what?
And that's got to change.
No, it's
just
not.
Like you were talking.
It's
you
not
were
gonna,
talking about.
Yeah.
You were talking about the ticket prices to see New York basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they priced it all out of the average fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's more average fans than there are multimillionaires.
Mm-hmm.
the average fan outweighs all of them people.
But you know what, Greg?
But they can't get in the game.
They don't care. Danny White could care less about the average. If somebody goes 30 years and can't see a game, Danny White could care less about that. His dad was an athletic director. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He doesn't care. They don't care, but they don't care that an 84-year-old man lost his tickets and this, that, and the other thing. They don't care. He doesn't care. They don't care. They're really not interested in growing their sport either, Greg. That's the other thing about it. If these guys had to grow a game, they couldn't do that. You can't grow sports treating people the way those people treat people. But more power to them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's got to be more toward the average guy.
Yep.
And a family and young kids.
Yep.
That never get inside the stadium because they don't have $10,000, whatever.
Yep.
To pay for those big games. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a shout out, brother.
Greg, you're the man. I love you. Thank you. Bride, we have breaking news on Josh Reynolds.
I'm looking at by Mike Wilson.
Yep.
And he says that they have parted ways with pitching coach Josh Reynolds. Sources tell VolQuest. Reynolds spent 1 season in the position and 2 seasons on the staff. He was the director of pitching performance in 2025.
Loving you is the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do.
Radio gets results again.
No. Loving you is he didn't get results. Loving you is the right thing that you can't recruit to that. You just can't. You can't sell that. Now, Matt makes
But they made a change, Tone. And that's
here's the interesting thing Matt brought up. Matt, you think they told those 2 pitchers we're making a change? Because I would bet you they did.
I would be shocked if the players didn't know a change was coming.
That's correct. Yeah. Now it makes sense. Now that they're coming back, makes sense. Now it makes sense. It didn't make sense before.
It's a really good sign for Elander that he's locked up their best players.
Yes.
Immediately after the season.
Yes.
Because I've always kind of had in the back of my mind there could be a mass exodus after this year because the program these guys came to play for is not here anymore.
That's correct.
With Tony, Q, all that, just that Vitello factor.
Yes.
But even though Elander is kind of the lead recruiter for a lot of them and is, by all accounts, really well liked, I was concerned that might happen. And for that not to happen is a really good and encouraging for Elander and the program going forward. But yeah, this was a move that you obviously needed to make major changes with your pitching staff, and the easiest way to do that is to get a new coach in.
I'm not.
So I'll be curious what they do because, Elander doesn't have a huge, I'm not sure what his reach is. I mean, maybe Chuck Geralman's got some reach somewhere, but I'll be really curious what they do with the pitching coach here because you got a chance to hire a pretty dang good one.
This guy was making $500,000. These guys, this is still a hot program. They've got a big stadium they're playing in. There's obviously a huge fan base for it. They're 2 years removed from winning a national championship. They've got to get this thing right. They saved some money with the Tony Vitello sliding over. And this head coach is making 1/3 of what Tony was. I mean, there's money there. And it's a really good opportunity. And it's in the Southeastern Conference. And it's got to be an attractive job. Now, let me just back up here, okay? Because I don't like taking credit for things I don't deserve credit for. People want to give me I never said they were going to fire the guy, okay? I never said that. People are like, you called it. No, I didn't call anything. But thank you for that, okay? I didn't call anything. I said for the last month or so that I was hearing they were going to make a change. But that is not me saying he was going to make a change. So I appreciate y'all wanting to say, hey, Tony, I was not calling anything. I did not call that. I am telling you This defensive lineman has driven them up a tree to a point where I don't think he's coming back. In fact, I don't think he's coming back. So I am saying that. This thing with Reynolds, this was going to be a curious decision as to what this coach was going to do. And he showed today that he's got the testicular fortitude to be a head coach. It's hard to do that. It's hard to do that. I hated firing people when I had to manage early in my career. I hated it. But there's an old saying, right? And you know what the old saying is? When you're managing and you're doing it properly, you don't fire people. People fire themselves. And I'm not kicking this guy when he's down or kicking him when he's on his way out the door, but it isn't like this is some kind of, hey, we had a fight and, and I'm blaming you and you had to go deal. I'm peeling off a layer. No. This is, hey, I'm a caretaker of this program and this is a meritocracy. And I can't sell what we just did. I can't sell it. And you know what? When you reach that point where you can't sell it and you're in the sales sport and you're in the sales game in that deal, those guys are salesmen now. You got to make a change. He did the right thing. 865-200-5402. I didn't call it though. Okay. I love your interest in the show. I love your support of me. I love people fight for. I love that. I didn't call that. We'll come back on the other side. I want you to respond to that. Also, the thing about what letter grade you're going to give this overall sports program for the year. I got an interesting text from somebody who listens to the show. Who basically said just about every program this year took a step back, which I didn't realize because these guys will tell you when you're doing it every day, you just have to do it every day. And when you're doing it every day, it's hard to look down from above and go, oh, okay, this is the big. We're doing that today in some small part on a day where they called it a wrap on Mark Reynolds. It's a Reynolds wrap Thursday, which is super clingy, by the way. So we continue with more. I was watching wrestling from 1983. They ran a Reynolds wrap commercial, and they balled it up, and they balled the other leading brand up, and they put them on the table, and the Reynolds wrap stayed clingy. And I was watching WWF from 1983 last night, and they did this thing. They balled both two fists together, put it on the ground, and I'll tell you what, that Reynolds wrap, it stayed clung. It stayed clung. Brian, have you ever been clung like that? Has it ever happened where you get clung in something?
No, I hope it doesn't either.
Interesting. Yeah, it's tough, especially when it's warm outside.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he definitely prefers Dos Equis. That's right. The most interesting man in the world has returned, and he's more interesting than ever before. His phone is addicted to him. All of his teeth, all are wisdom teeth. So raise a Dos Equis to the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, stay thirsty, my friends. Dos Equis, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Nothing reminds you of how much you rely on your air conditioner like the first really hot day in East Tennessee. Schedule Pipe Wrench Home Services' $79 seasonal tune-up now before the heat sets in. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with their same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 seasonal tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Baseball fans, it's time to step up to the plate. Look your best. Get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall has the best selection. Top brands for you to choose from this season. Look, it's nice and warm outside. So get into any of their 6 air-conditioned East Tennessee locations. Shop online, download the app, grab your Tennessee baseball jersey, your hat, your decal, maybe a t-shirt, and they have so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Go Vols and shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Touch them all with Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Jump on and react as Tennessee changes pitching coaches, which again, I think most people that really follow the program or season ticket holders were expecting that to happen. Now, it took, a few days later than what happened elsewhere. 2 things, okay? Because Matt was talking before about the frontline pitchers deciding to come back. I didn't want to say this in the first hour, but I thought that was very curious. That those guys, now that you think about it, he had to have, there's no way he makes today's change without telling the 2 frontline arms, hey, we're making a change. You guys come back and we hear you. Okay. We're going to get somebody that's a developer. And I bet, Matt, they might already have another name in their, and they might already have a name in their pocket that they told these kids that they're going to go with. That would be my guess. Because this is not something you do nilly-willy. This wasn't a decision they made overnight. This, obviously, we heard about it percolating for weeks. And again, I did not call this, but thank you for the kind the kind words. I tell you what I would do if I was them, Matt. is I would pick the phone up and call Frank Anderson and say, come back here. I know that's a very myopic thing of me to say, but I would at least make that phone call to him. Am I wrong?
No, I think that would be the first thing. I think Elander even mentioned maybe before the regional that him and Frank had talked recently. So I think there's always an open line of communication there, and obviously things aren't going well in San Francisco. We don't have to, ignore that either.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens out there. I don't think Frank would leave in the middle of the season. Although that's what Wes Johnson did when he left the Twins to go to LSU.
Right.
He left kind of right here in the middle of the summer, which was an odd thing at the time.
Well, look, here's the thing. Those seasons are never going to line up between college and pro sports. And you got coaches jumping back and forth now all the time. And Frank's not even their pitching coach. He's like an advisor. And that's a terrible, terrible situation they're in San Francisco. I was on KMBR Monday, which is they have a huge footprint out there, huge following. It's one of the great blowtorch sports radio stations in the country, along with WIP in Philly. And the great Jack Fritz, who does afternoons there, sent me a pretty cool T-shirt that I'm rocking right now that I play music in every once in a while. A WIP shirt. Here's the point. The guys in KMBR are like, Tony going to go back to Major League Baseball or college baseball? And I'm like, I have no idea. But I'll tell you right now, it's a hell of a lot easier for Frank Anderson to come back to college baseball than it is for Tony Vitello to come back to college baseball. It's a hell of a lot easier to get Frank Anderson to come back to Tennessee. He's got to be miserable there.
I was surprised he left anyway a month later. I thought Anderson was going to stick around. Foolishly, I guess, but Josh Elander said in a statement, I want to thank Josh Reynolds for his hard work and dedication to the baseball program.
Yep.
But I have decided it's best for our program to move in a different direction from a pitching standpoint at this time.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You're in a business that is a meritocracy. The best players play. The players don't get the job done, move on. Professional sports. Guy's making $500,000 a year and with great benefits. So, you make a call to Frank Anderson to see if he'll come home, and if he doesn't want to do it, because I say home, because Matt's right. It was 5 years ago yesterday. Chad Dallas on the mound, who got his major league debut last night, Matt. Is that right? On the 5th year anniversary of the Wright State home run. Is that correct?
It's tonight. His major league debut is tonight.
Tonight.
Year anniversary, yeah, which it works out even better. He got called up yesterday, but his debut is tonight on the 5-year anniversary of that magical night at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
That's pretty wonderful. Matt, close your eyes. You were there. What do you remember about the game? Give me a recollection, because I'm going to give you my recollection.
It was a really high-level game.
Yep.
Wright State was a really good team.
Yes.
And had a great lineup. Great line, worked deep counts, had home run power, had 3 or 4 guys that were high-round draft picks. One of them, Tyler Blacker, I think hit 2 home runs in the game. Has been in the big leagues with the Brewers.
Hell of a player.
It was just a really high-level game between two. It really felt like a regional final type game. That Wright State team should have been probably a 2 seed. They had unbelievable stats, and they backed it up. They were a really good lineup, and Tennessee, rallied late in the 9th and walked them off with the most important swing in program history.
My recollection of that, I was on the couch watching the game. Up till that point, obviously I was already pulled in by the Evan Russell moment with Vanderbilt. Same season, Matt. Yeah, same season.
Yeah, yes, same season.
So what we had there with me is we had a bandwagon effect. I'm not gonna lie. And it just kept building and building and building and building. And if you'll remember, Tennessee had the Vanderbilt deal. They had the situation where I think they won 1 out of 2 in that series, right? They won 1 out of 2. Is that right? Got beat on the Sunday after Saturday home run.
They won. They won the middle game against both Vandy and Arkansas, but lost the series. Yes,
and
that's the only 2 series they lost, by the way.
And see, that's lost to time, because that home run was so loud, and it meant we are here and we're in your face. And that team, that could have been their slogan that year. We are in your face. And it never ended. They had that began their run where they won that College World Series. That was it. That home run that Evan Russell hit was the beginning of the run. Now, the team that the chef, Will Heflin, was on, that's got to the College World Series, really began the run. The whole thing was just, it was an insane time. I mean, the whole thing was insane, Matt. That whole period was insane. We're here.
Yeah.
We're not the Q word, and we're in your face. That's what they did. And they jumped right in your face. And they went for it.
And backed it up on the field.
And backed it up.
Yeah. We've talked about all the flashpoint moments and little the one at bats and one swings that totally changed how we look at 3 or 4 of those seasons. But yeah, that 21 team started it all. And that obviously that Gilbert hit kind of launched everything.
Yeah.
Because if you lose that game, you're probably losing the regional. You're almost certainly losing the regional because you didn't have pitching depth back then. And then you could kind of be viewed as you never know the trajectory of the program, but you could kind of be viewed as kind of a one-year wonder that year by a lot of people outside the sport or within the sport. And you just never know, does the 22 team do what they did? If you don't have that team that gets to Omaha, you probably don't. You just never know how any of that changes. But yeah, it's that 5-year run was one of the most insane things I've ever seen in sports. From where the program was to where it what it became and where it ended up is a completely different world for the program.
And you had to do that today. You had to fire that coach today. You had to do that. But here's my memory. Sitting on the couch, I looked at Laura and I said, should we? And she knew what I meant. She said, yeah, let's do that. I texted Matt. I texted the guys. I said, we're going to jump on and do a post-game show. And that began our string of doing baseball post-game shows in the postseason. They play a baseball game in the postseason, we're going to be there. That night, the emotion that we had on the phone lines, look, I'm not going to lie to you. A sport was born to me that night. I'm not going to lie to you. One thing about me, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I was, when Chris Burke played, I was at every game. No, it was invisible to me. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, Berkey always told me, Tony, if you give this a chance, and he was on our show all those years, he would come, and we would have the baseball coaches on. I was always supporting what they were doing because I enjoyed the sport, but I didn't watch the sport. I didn't watch college baseball. Tony and those guys made that thing so real to me. And the way they went about doing what they were doing was so appealing to me because it was like old school hockey. And at the time, what I was saying about it was as I got to know the sport, it reminded me of college football that I grew up watching. The next year when the stadium got full, and then when they would go on the road and they would play in all these full stadiums, they went overnight from invisible to drawing sellouts everywhere they went, Matt. That's what was crazy about that team. They went from an upset of mighty Vanderbilt had those big Russian-looking athletes. Like I would compare it to the Soviet
Jack Leiter,
Union.
Kumar Rocker on the mound.
Yeah, and they had all these
those guys. Those guys are in the Rangers rotation now.
They were bigger, badder, better. They were funded. They had those awesome-looking pinstripe uniforms. I mean, just through my eyes, because I'd never looked at it. And here comes Tennessee. And here comes Evan Russell, who's like from down there where Laura's uncle comes from, at Lexington, or where he lives, rather. And are you kidding me? He hits that home, and then it continues to build and build and build. And then they drew Wright State, and I remember Tony calling me. He was so pissed off when they drew Wright State. It urinated him off to no end. And he says, they don't respect us. What kind of draw is this? Tony, you wait till you see this. I'm like, this guy never quits complaining. You know what he was? He was right. They were feeding. They fed Tennessee to Wright State. That Wright State team, there's no telling that year how many regionals they could have got. If Matt would have been placed in the right regional, that team probably would have played in Omaha that year.
They certainly could have. They would have had a path. Yes, that was easily the best team they've ever had, and just lineup wise, one of the better kind of 4 seeds I've ever seen in the field. Like they're, like I would pick them over like the Little Rock team or this Troy team. Like that was a really, really good team that was done a major disservice. They were probably done a bigger disservice than Tennessee was, if we're being honest.
And if
they legitimately had a chance to make noise in a regional, and if they had gone to probably
anywhere
13 of the other regionals, they might have gotten out of there.
We went out.
They knocked Vanderbilt out last year.
Hey Matt, I went out there I went the next day and watched a loser game. What do you call the loser bracket deal? Matt, their kids
the elimination game. They were down. Yeah, they were.
Their kids were huge, though.
Yeah,
they were huge. They were huge.
I can remember, was not at that game, but I can remember where I ate that night, what I was doing before. And after that home run was hit, when I was kind of following the game.
That was real,
as close as I could.
Where were you, Brian, when the home run was hit?
And I just remember where you ate, coming home. It's one of those things where, and the Russell home run the same way.
Brian, where were you? I was playing music at the open chord when Evan Russell, that day he hit his home run. We were unpacking our gear, and I was listening to it. I will never forget that as long as I live. Okay? That was a Saturday afternoon.
Max Ferguson walk-off's another one.
It was kind of cloudy outside. I'll never forget that Evan Russell day. And I tell you this, I remember things more when I'm listening to them, but it just like freaked my brain out. That night we jumped on with the Wright State deal. I remember calling Matt afterwards. We were on here for like 2.5 to 3 hours almost. I'd like to pull that. You know what, Matt? We ought to pull that audio up because we have that somewhere. That would be a fun thing to replay. We ought to replay that like tomorrow. All the people yelling and screaming and here's the other thing. That came along at a time for us in the Tennessee sports landscape where we were pretty kind of lame in some things. They sort of restarted the fire, as Bino said.
And coming out of all the COVID restrictions, yes. It was just such a perfect mix of gasoline and fire. I mean, it was incredible.
And it had that. And here's how we are. Here's how we're such hypocrites as sports fans. I'm watching that Phelps guy round the bases the other day, and I showed it to Laura, the clip online, and she said, yeah. I said, look at the way this guy's acting. And she was like, yeah. And I said, man, this guy's ready to get thrown in the game, right? And she said, you loved that stuff when Tennessee was doing it. And I thought to myself, you know what? I did love that stuff when Tennessee was doing it. Isn't that funny, Matt, how when they have your uniform on and they're doing it, it's funny and it's fun and it's entertaining. But when you see somebody else do it, you go, man, that guy's low class and low rent, and throw him out of the game.
Yeah. The jerseys kind of tint your view of it. So the last couple of Georgia teams remind me so much of the first of like that 21, 22 type teams. Yep. Just the way they act and they hit a bunch of home runs and win a lot of games, obviously. But just that attitude and there's a lot of similarities there. And Tennessee, we even talked about it at the time that Tennessee's was way over the top, and 22 just got totally out of control. But they kind of jump started that, and it was good. It was good for the sport and good for college baseball.
It was great for the sport.
Even people, that are really sticklers and old school baseball people that follow the sport even admit that. But that was good for the sport, and it grew the game in a way that it needed to. And now you're at a spot where the game has grown exponentially since then. And you'd like to rein some of that stuff in. But, yeah, Tennessee kind of jump-started all the loudmouth celebrations, the dugout stuff, like a lot of that Tennessee was catalyst for.
The celebration.
Evan Russell was, because he's the one who came up with the Daddy Hat.
The celebration props, they're now all over Major League Baseball. One thing college baseball needs to do if it really wants to grow is figure out a way to make their sport faster. The 4-hour baseball game's got to end. Got to figure out a way. Too many pitching changes. But there's no doubt, Major League Baseball, they looked at what these kids were doing, and they said, because Tennessee was viral everywhere, man. Viral everywhere. There's no telling how many millions of impressions that baseball team got. Now, some would say for the right reason, wrong reason. I don't care what the reasons are. I mean, they were winning. And it's funny. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. When you're winning, it's funny and it's fun. And, that night is etched inside my mind. We ran down here on that Friday night. This is why I love this medium. We jumped right on. And I'm telling you, we looked at that next day, and then how many people heard that show. And I want to say it was around 35 or 40,000 people, which is a great number in this industry. It's a huge number for baseball. And I said to myself at that point, this thing's getting ready to explode. People love a winner, man. If I were them, tying it right back into this Reynolds thing, I would call Frank Anderson and beg him to come back. I know that's myopic. Tony, you're really showing your knowledge of, I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of that sport. Matt does. Again, and people want to give me, well, you called this Reynolds. No, I didn't. I'll tell you when I call things, okay? I'll tell you when I call things. I didn't call that. I'm glad he had the guts to do it. I'm glad Tennessee in their press release didn't spin it like, what? How you phrase it? Josh is looking for new, however they put that, as if, he made the decision. No, you put the release out saying, we have a standard and we're going to perform to this standard, which is what they did. And I'm the head coach and I made the change. It's what we do. We're adults. It's okay. It's business. It ain't personal. It's business. And yeah, shout out to Taylor. Taylor was saying weeks ago, I'm hearing this is going to happen. He did say it. So, and he knows a lot of family. I'd be curious from Taylor. Taylor, if you're listening, I would be really curious if they shared that, because I know he knows some family members, if they shared that with some people as they've gotten these guys to come back. And I wonder what other changes they're going to make too, Matt. Do they make any other coaching changes? That's the other thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll see. I'd say that would probably be the only one. Tug Drolleman, is a longtime assistant, left Florida to come here to coach with Elander, which was interesting and kind of a bold move at the time. Ross Kivett and Elander, they kind of started here as assistants, and Kivett came back after going to Houston. So I would assume all those guys would probably stick around, but you'll make a pitching coach change and kind of see where you go from there.
So if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, or the mixing in the hunt, 865-200-5402 is the number. The great, and I do mean he's great, William Patterson's on the way next. We'll do a little overtime with you and then call it a day. There are some odds that are coming out for the season. We'll give you a few of those, and we'll continue on the other side. We've had a full plate today. 865-200-5402 after this. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. Waterside Contracting LLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. He doesn't always drink beer, but when he does, he definitely prefers Dos Equis. That's right. The most interesting man in the world has returned, and he's more interesting than ever before. His phone is addicted to him. All of his teeth, all are wisdom teeth. So raise a Dos Equis to the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, stay thirsty, my friends. Dos Equis, enjoy responsibly. 2026 Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Like our 2026 football ball, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times, 80 proof of vodka, delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka. T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka. Distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready, because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Baseball fans, it's time to step up to the plate. Look your best. Get some new Tennessee gear from Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall has the best selection. Top brands for you to choose from this season. Look, it's nice and warm outside. So get into any of their 6 air-conditioned East Tennessee locations. Shop online, download the app, grab your Tennessee baseball jersey, your hat, your decal, maybe a T-shirt, and they have so much more. Earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Go Vols and shop Alumni Hall, your ultimate Tennessee shopping destination. Touch them all with Alumni Hall. Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in Knoxville and in Johnson City. So we're ready to offer any player top-level competition and top-level training anywhere they want to be in Northeast Tennessee. In our programs, we offer competitive play for anywhere from 9-year-olds to 19-year-olds. We've got 2 locations. Our location in Knoxville is kind of our home base, and our location up in Johnson City in the Tri-Cities area is our FC Alliance North. Both locations are growing tremendously, and we're excited about what the future holds here at both locations.
Growing the beautiful game in the season of the World Cup. Chad Stockton, how can folks get more information?
Go to our website, FC Alliance or FCAllianceNorth.org, and both locations we're happy to serve the beginning player or the more experienced player, because what we will promise is the top-level training and top-level leagues that we can play in for all of our players.
Growing the beautiful game in Knoxville and now also in the Tri-Cities, FC Alliance. Thank you, Chad Stockton.
Thanks, buddy.
It's so next levels. I welcome you back. We're going to do an overtime segment to the Stars, no question. Then we're going to get out of here. Because we got week to do. We got week to do. But in the meantime, William Pattison, he meets the moment each and every day on here. Make no mistake about it, he'll have more on the Reynolds departure. That kid's got such great, I mean, he might have something on what trick they have up her sleeve. That guy's plugged in. And then the great Dubsy and the crew who've been kind of calling this shot. Hey, it's officially Josh Elander's program now when he did what he did. When he did what he did. It's officially his program now. As we continue, to the radio listener, I'll talk to you tomorrow. The great William Pattison. Bow thy head. We'll do some overtime here. We love you on a Thursday. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
I think Matt had a really good thought earlier. And one thing we try to do on this show is try to make sense of stuff as it happens. It's flying into the windshield. There's no way in the world they didn't sit down with a Landon Mack and a Cam Appenzeller, who, if those guys hit the open market, there's no telling how many teams will come for them. And they locked them up, as Matt said, as soon as they got eliminated. You heard those guys were coming back. There is little doubt, Matt's right. They told them, hey, we're going in a different direction. Little doubt. Little doubt. So let's go back to our phones. We'll get as many people in as we can. Anything you want to add to that, Matt? Because I want to get some folks in. If you want to talk about this situation. And then shout out to Taylor as well in his TWIB. Taylor's been saying for a month or so, hey, I keep hearing this is going to happen. And then when it didn't happen for 4 days, I was like, or into the fourth, let's see, they got eliminated when, guys? Because A&M peeled their guy
eliminated 5 days. 5 days ago.
Oh, 5 days. Okay, yeah. Because A&M peeled their guy off
Thursday.
You know, A&M got eliminated and peeled their guy off right away. Like, see you later. And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they get beat like 8-1 to USC in their regional in their building?
They lost 14-3 and 8-1.
Yeah, they lost 2 games in a row. Like Florida, they had won the first 2, and then had a team come out of a loser's bracket and beat them pretty handily 2 games in a row on their own field.
Because they had no pitching left, basically. Like, that was laid bare for them. Yeah.
But ironically, they got a great start from their guy on Monday, who had held USC down until the late innings where they pulled away. But yeah, it was their bats that didn't show up. Yeah, their pitching had been an issue all year. They were a great hitting team, but their pitching was towards the bottom of the league.
And he's a second-year coach, and he likes his job. And they had a nice year this year, but their pitching was atrocious. And like Matt said, there's a bunch of coaches in the league. LSU had a horrendous pitching. LSU's pitching looked like batting practice this year. But because other teams in your league do or don't do things, is no reason for you not to do the right thing, Spike Lee. There's just no reason, Carlos. It's just no reason for you not to do the right thing. Let's go back to the phones. Get as many people in here as humanly possible. Hello and welcome in. You're on our overdrive overtime, our final unsponsored month of this excursion. As I remind the living listener as well, portions of today's program presented by our friends at your Garza Law Firm. They're online at garzalaw.com. Marcos, I love you. And all my friends at your Garza Law Firm. Yesterday, when I sit in the park, I wonder how many of these folks does Marcos employ, because they're walking right by us. They work and worship. They recreate. It's a beautiful park day yesterday. I'm so glad Brian encouraged me to get out in the park yesterday. That weather and that breeze, Brian, that was an awesome day we had yesterday, man. What a beautiful day on planet Earth in Knoxville yesterday.
Low humidity, not a cloud in the sky. Sounds very Palm Springs-like to me.
The wind.
Which I've been waiting on back
The
here.
wind. And the wind was blowing, a little breeze. I was telling Matt, though, since I've had this alopecia thing, Laura says to me all the time, why are your eyes so red? I'm like, well, you have eyelashes. And I don't. And all that dust, think about this, all that dust and all that stuff that blows up in your face, it all gets up in my eyes now. Because my eyelashes got burned off when I went through the alopecia thing. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, Yoshihio.
Yoshihaha.
Joshy boy.
Oh, you fooled me there, man. You sounded like...
you thought I was Philip, didn't you?
No, I thought you were Greg. Greg from Columbia.
Yep. How are you going to let Laura step all over you all the time, Tony? You need to crank back up and step all over her.
Well, it's called being married. By the way, I mean, when you're married long enough, Joshy boy, you're like a human step stool. Matt, stop me when I'm lying. Any married man listening to me, stop me when I'm lying. These guys that tell me, oh, yeah, you know, my wife doesn't get it. I'm like, you ain't going to be married long. I win the arguments. Do you? Okay, that's funny. You win the arguments? That's kind of fun. Let me say this. My Smokies are at home this weekend as well. Shout out to my Smokies. Tickets are available, smokiesbaseball.com. The weather is great. I saw where Joshy boy, where it's going to get smoking hot next week, mid-90s, high humidity.
Yep.
That stuff sucks. You can keep that, Joshy boy.
Yeah. Do you think that's the same way with Bino? Do you think Sheena walks all over him?
Bino's a human step stool.
Yeah.
Hey, call him, tell him later. Call him and tell him later, Joshy boy, that I called him a human step stool. See if he thinks it's funny.
Okay, I will.
But the
Tony,
first time, by the way,
I'm glad.
We have 41 likes for this show right now. That's appalling. Well, if you
those YouTube brain donor chatters don't want to hit the like button. You know they're lazy.
We have 178 people viewing this right now. How hard is it for you jerk-offs to hit the damn like button and help the show grow? Do you like the show or you want the show to go away? Because if you don't hit the like button, because this is the future.
What are we doing?
YouTube is, whether you want to know it or not or admit it or not, this thing's the future. Technology is the future. Get in it, as the old slogan used to go. Somebody said, well, it's 63 now. Hey, listen, it should be, I have 165 years. It should be 165, you jerks.
About 100.
How hard is that?
Basilio's eyelashes just like the show.
I mean, what a bunch of damn takers. No offense. I'm asking nothing of you. Hit the damn like button. And by the way, you're going to help us this summer grow to 10,000. Somebody said, how can you do that over the summer? I'm going to show you how we can do that over the summer. You're going to do it for us. Because you're going to suggest to people that they check this out. We're going to do a campaign where you're going to send 5 friends clips, and we're going to do this. Okay? You people are pissing me off. Continue, Joshy boy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take your call.
Oh no, you're good. That's fine. You went on your little rant.
No, it's not a rant. It's a truth. I wasn't a little
rant. It is
rant.
the truth.
Wasn't a little
I
rant.
believe it.
These people are takers.
Hey Tony, I feel like Florida kind of embarrassed himself today with his mid takes.
Florida's pretty mid.
He is.
Yeah, he's pretty mid.
Kind of like his football team.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too bad we don't play him this year, Tony, because I would want to beat them for a 3rd season straight.
Hey, Matt, you missed Florida being on our schedule this year?
Honestly, not really. It's just been a series of frustrations and you get worked up and emotional and just frustrated. You know, Tennessee's had the better team than Florida for probably the majority of the last 15 years, but until the last 4 years, you just found embarrassing ways to lose. So no, I never really got anything out of playing Florida. Once Spurrier left and they kind of fell off from being an elite program, there was, it's just not a fun rivalry for me.
Hey Matt, what do you think our record could be in football this season if Faison Brandon could live up to the hype and be a pretty good quarterback this year?
I mean, if he lives up to, you can probably get on the high end in that 8 or 9 win range.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Tony,
that's what we need to hope for is Faison shows some excitement and improves and gives you some hope, and your defense looks competent, looks well coached, and gets better kind of throughout the year. That's really the 2 things you're looking for this year. And if you do both of those things, then the wins will come.
That's right. Now, if this kid can't play, Matt, and he looks terrible, oh my gosh. Are the Wolves going to be howling for this head coach?
7-5 or 6-6 could be in the question, definitely.
Woo! Are the Wolves going to be howling? This Heupel guy, man, I've never seen a guy that's done what this guy does, and people hate him. They act like he's some like Derek Dooley. Matt, that's the way people talk about him. He's a nice coach. You can win with him. Now,
2 10-win seasons since he's been here.
You can win with him. You can win with this guy.
Yeah, good. Thank you for sticking up for him, Josh Boy. Some people call him Jughead on here.
I know.
No sense.
Well, that guy that tries to take you under wing does that. That Cal Poly Joe.
George, yeah.
Cal Poly.
The only thing I really have against Heupel, I wish he'll never do this. He's too stubborn to do it. But I wish he would give up play calling duties and just give it to his offensive coordinator.
Josh Elander this year at his press conference said, in case anybody's wondering and the kids want to know, I'm still going to be the third base coach. And then he gave that up, which showed showed me, hey, this guy's searching for answers. Because I don't know if that had anything to do with the way they started the season. But I loved it when he gave that up. And today he asked somebody a question. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's a big deal, guys. That's a big deal.
It is. Yeah, definitely. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. I love Joshy boys. Give me marriage advice. Wait till Laura hears that later.
I thought it was interesting that both North Carolina and East Carolina's head coaches also coach third base in that regional. Like it happens more than you think in the college game. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, that was a move that I think it certainly helped Tennessee when they did it.
By the way, Crave Dog asked a question here. Is there TB swag somewhere? I'm newish to the game. First of all, Crave Dog, thank you. And thank you for hitting the like button, by the way. Hit the like button for a man with no eyelashes during allergy season in East Tennessee and a honker my size. You talk about a guy that's... But here's the thing. The show is kind of, if you're new to it, how I describe this to you, it's like an underground phenomena. We've never done that. I know everybody does that, and I'm not saying I won't do it. I've had people approach me about it, and you ought to do this, and I'm just somebody that kind of likes the underground nature of what we do. Does that make any sense, Matt, to you having to know me?
No, I think that's when you're at your best. Kind of that outsider, NWO type role to still a wrestling gimmick. But yeah, you're kind of an outsider a little bit, and that's where you thrive.
People have made their own gear for us, and they wear their own gear, which is kind of fun. Byron Williams made me a shirt of me taking the sheep across to the promised land, me as Moses with a cane in my head, or my hand rather. I need a cane on my head. I bet that would knock a bunch of junk out of my nose. I'll never forget the one time I got hit really hard in my face and I saw yellow in my vision. Man, I could smell everything after I got hit like that. I bet those UFC fighters, it really wakes their senses up when somebody scrambles you. Yeah. Somebody said Elander now means business, fall girl. I agree with that. I think of Josh Elander now. I think of a guy that means business. I see him in a different light right now. I don't know if it's fair. Maybe it's not fair. Maybe it wouldn't have been fair to not see him in that light. But we have 167 viewers and 108 people hit the like button. That's very selfish of you. No offense to you. But thank you for joining the game. And then we'll go back to the phones. Fall Moose, hello to you. Thank you. Jonesy 404. Basilio is going to turn into Danny White this summer and ask you to call a buddy. No, I'm going to ask you to text a buddy. And we're going to put together a welcome to the show video. I'm putting together a video that I'm going to ask you to text out to people. And you watch the YouTube views grow. I'm going to say, this is who I am. This is what we do. This is who we are. I'm not who you think I am. I'm not who your friends on VolQuest say I am. This is what we do every day. And we're going to do a nice to meet you video. And I would like you to come to the YouTube channel and check this out. We're on here after games. We celebrate the wins. We cry over the losses, and we tell the truth. That's what we do. That's all we do. And we help our community be a better community when we get the opportunity. And it's pretty simple. I get up every day. I serve God. I serve my community. I serve my sponsors. And we've been doing it for, going on 30 years. With not a whole lot of help, by the way. So, and when I mean a whole lot of help, I mean a whole lot of corporate help. I mean just kind of Getting up every day and just being consistent. Being consistent. Being consistent. Hello and welcome in. And we've got great people around us too. And when we meet great people, people that want to, like Boy Billy sent me a blog that's going to debut on Tuesday. That freaking guy is good. Matt Dixon is excellent. Brian Hartman, excellent. And Taylor, excellent. And Taylor's now with us. Taylor, that's a great blog today.
Hey, thanks, Tony.
And by the way, Taylor, they were crediting me with calling this. You're the one that said it. Now, let me ask you something. First of all, your impression of what Josh Elander did today.
Tony, it had to be done. It was the biggest no-brainer decision on earth. Caduce, as you would say, or Fulmer would say, to Elander, but he didn't hire Coach Josh Reynolds. He inherited him. It's a lot easier letting someone go that you inherit. Much harder if Elander had hired him. The proof down the road is going to be, can Elander make that decision when it's someone that he onboarded? But regardless, I appreciate him doing it. It's a good sign for things to come that he does have the intestinal fortitude to make tough decisions. But that had to be done, Tony.
Matt Dixon, your thoughts on what Taylor just said there?
Yeah, it's something we hadn't brought up about inheriting a coach versus actually hiring him and making it easier. But yeah, I mean, your pitching numbers were the worst they've been, in about a decade. And, your guys didn't develop, you didn't get better.
Yep.
It just didn't work. And his approach and what he was doing obviously didn't reach the players. And you didn't want to, he couldn't be Frank Anderson, but you needed to have a competent pitching staff, and you just didn't. And it obviously doesn't. Elander didn't feel like they were going to, and that you couldn't under this guy. So yeah, you kind of had to make a move because your pitching is what got you beat a whole lot this year. I mean, that's probably what cost you hosting a regional and winning 3 or 4 more league games. Was you blew at least 3 Sunday leads of 5 runs.
Yeah, you're still alive if it's not for that, because your draw is different. Your destination, your destiny is different. Hey, Taylor, and this is for everybody in the room here, but just thinking out loud, it seems like if I was Josh Reynolds and his representation, and what do I call this guy usually, Taylor, till you correct me? What did I call him?
You call him Mark Reynolds.
Mark Reynolds, yeah, thank you. It's another endearing thing about me you'll learn is that I'm extremely quick on my feet, but somehow the details just, the devil's always in the details, and I just manage.
You're kind of like Vitello in that regard. You're
Thank
not
you.
a detail guy. You're a big picture guy.
Thank you. So the I go back to where we are here, and I say this. The Reynolds guy can always say, hey, you guys, I didn't recruit that staff. And you gave me a staff full of guys that couldn't break a pane of glass with a baseball. We didn't have one high velo thrower in our staff. When in years past, the year before we had a bunch of guys that were radar gun heroes. So y'all left me slop here, and now you're going to fire me. And you know what? He would have kind of a leg to stand on to say that, Taylor. He really would. Because that was not a well-crafted staff that they left this guy.
No, I mean, obviously they purposely went away from high-power arms. They went for unique arm slots. They wanted a bullpen full of different looks, and you can see how well that worked out. It was horrendous. It just didn't work. So yeah, so Reynolds will have in his interviews, he'll land on his feet, and I certainly hope he does.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have some excellent commentary to say, look, guys, I was hired in November.
Mm-hmm.
We lost the entire staff, as you know. I don't have to reiterate that.
Mm-hmm.
I inherited a pitching staff that I did not curate, and it was a dramatic change from whatever they had done in the past, and it just didn't work. I'm ready to start anew, and if you allow me to, have part of the folks that I recruit, and the development will be much different. So he's got a story that he can certainly tell. And, but real quick, Tony, I don't know this for a fact, but just what I've read and heard, I don't think there's any chance Frank Anderson comes back. I think that horse has left the barn. But the first call I would make if I'm Coach Elander is to Matt Williams at Coastal Carolina. He's done a tremendous job. He's got over 20 years of college baseball experience. He before Coastal Carolina, he's only been there 2 years. But if you look at those stats when they went to the College World Series, phenomenal job. He was at South Carolina until Paul Maneri decided to let him go. Which Paul Maneri, the second version of Paul Maneri, made Jeremy Pruitt look like Einstein. But Tony, he was at Liberty before that. That'd be the absolute first call I would make. I would make him say no. He would be a tremendous addition to the staff.
Matt, are you familiar with that gentleman, that Williams guy?
Yeah, he was actually the pitching coach when Liberty played in that 2021 regional here that we've talked about. I believe he actually got ejected in the.
So he's got some damn fire to him
after their head coach did. But yeah, he's a longtime coach. I'll be curious to see if Snall gets the South Carolina job. There's a lot of smoke there. They might elevate Williams to head coach there, but he would be an excellent choice because that's a very veteran coach that's pretty proven. So yeah, that would be a nice option that Taylor brought up.
Yep. That's fun. Hey guys, question for you, Taylor. Go ahead, Brian.
Kurt Schilling wanted the head coaching job. Maybe they should talk to him.
Maybe not. But let's go back to where we were. And that's this. So now this move's been made. You don't make a move though without telling Taylor. You were hearing like a month ago, circulating through the parents, etc., that this was coming. You think they told those two frontline pitchers, "Hey, hang on"? And Taylor, do you think they have somebody in their pocket right now?
So I'm sure they've had a list and they've been checking it twice. The reason they likely waited until today, from a PR standpoint, tomorrow afternoon would have been perfect, but you just can't wait that long. They wanted ideally to give Reynolds a chance to get out in front of it to try to secure a position. That would have been perfect if he could have announced earlier this week that he had another job.
Yes.
But yeah, do I think that the pitchers that are returning next year knew? 100%, I think they did. I think this has not been a well-kept secret. By the way, if a parent tells me something, I don't report it. I don't talk about it. I've got to hear it from several sources because I look at it as I'm just a fan. They don't look at me as somebody that, is in media or going to quote something. So anyway, that's just my rule of thumb.
No, it's a great rule of thumb.
Before you'll ever hear it from me, because that's not fair. That's not fair to
no.
Just to the relationship.
And I'm not a kid.
I think this is
Go ahead. I'm not a kiss and teller guy either, Taylor, and you can't be because you want to be trusted. But the other thing is that when you hear it from multiple people, it's kind of making its way around. And the other thing you learn about parents too is they always want somebody to blame. So it's always gonna be the coach's fault anyway. So no offense to parents. I love parents.
I'll just say this on the way out, Tony.
One. Yes.
Really, really pleased with who's coming back. I haven't been close to it today. Matt or Tony, has Levi Clark announced his intentions yet? That's the 800-pound gorilla. But everyone else that's coming back, it looks like Elander and staff are doing a great job in retaining the core and the key people. But I'll listen to you. Hey, Tony, you're the dean for a reason. Keep up the great work. Matt, Brian, outstanding.
Thank you. I thought I saw somewhere where Clark has said he's coming back, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I did too.
But I don't know if it's official. Matt, have you seen that? Because we're going to have Ben McKee on tomorrow in the second hour to digest some of this stuff. And Matt, if you want to jump on with us with Ben, if you're around, that'd be great. But have we seen that him officially say he's coming back? Because I thought he was.
I thought he was part of that, or it had been hinted around that he was coming back, but I don't know for sure if he's like announced that or anything. So
right.
The only thing I saw today was that like Eisfelter and another guy are are playing in one of their summer leagues, and they mentioned that they're at Tennessee and coming back. So
nice.
I haven't seen anything specific about Levi. I hope he comes back. I still think there's a really impressive bat there, and I mean he even showed it in. I mean he's the best hitter in SEC play after an awful start, but he can take, like some of these guys, you can take a huge jump that junior year.
What I don't know, what I would really wonder about is what happened with Abernathy. Did they process him or did he process them? Or is it a little bit of both? That would be a curious. I'm gonna ask Ben that tomorrow.
Probably a little bit of both, if I had to guess.
Yeah, because I get the feeling that he would probably benefit from another spot. One of y'all in our chat compared him to that Booker kid. I think that's a fair comparison. He just looked the part. He had the profile of somebody that was going to fit the part. Can't steal first base though, right? It's tough. Tough deal.
He played sort of regularly, sparingly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he was a fast guy. This the same exact player, same skill set, same career path.
Yeah.
Same level of production. It's really weird.
They likened him to that Brasfield guy at Vanderbilt, but man, the Brasfield guy knew how to get on base. Just see so many of those people. Is Grimmer back, Matt? I think he is back, right?
Well, he's draftable.
Oh, he's draftable.
As a sophomore.
Yeah.
I would like him back. I think the last I was talking about with somebody was him and Marin both would like to go pro.
Yeah.
Now neither of them, and especially Marin, didn't have the kind of season that would kind of warrant that.
Right.
And especially in a shortened draft, but this is kind of their leverage year for the draft sake, with where they can, have a number that teams can match or not. A guy like Reese Chapman doesn't really have much leverage there.
Mm-hmm.
But I would welcome Grimmer back. He, a guy who I thought it shouldn't have been your 2-hole hitter because he's not good enough for that. But I thought he was a really solid guy, gave you quality at bats, and I don't know if you want to stick him at second for a full year, but you made it work there. Maybe you slide him to third. But I think you'd welcome both of those guys back if they want to come back. But I know at least in the middle of the season or early in the season, both of those guys, their aspirations were to go pro after this year. Now, whether the pros want them or not, it's another story.
To sound like Berkey, if Grimmer can stay away from the punch, as they say in the pros, he showed some very good hands as an infielder. He was really impressive at second base in that tournament. I mean, you make money off that highlight video. He can hammer a baseball too. That's a guy with a lot of power. I'd be surprised, Matt, if somebody didn't take a flyer on him. 10th round, something like that. Or what's the odd round there where you can spend a little extra money on a guy?
I think from the 11th round on is where it's kind of a free money deal. But the first 10, there's slotted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking 11th round, something like that, where you give him a shot.
There's some intrigue there, certainly.
Yes.
And even with Marin, there's some.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not big at all. Like
right.
He just doesn't look like a guy that can play pro ball.
No, he's tiny.
He got more pop in his bat than he looks.
Yes.
But he's got some good traits. He's really good against lefties. Pretty solid shortstop. But man, there's a lot of empty at bats with him though.
640 pothole. What do we think about the Haslams giving $130 million to the university, but none of it to athletics? 640 pothole. Those people are worth multiple billions of dollars. The same day they did that, the Predators the Nashville Predators lured a tremendous high-level front office guy from one of the signature franchises in hockey in Denver to take their president and general manager's job and are paying him through the roof. So there's plenty of money where that came from. But what do I think about them giving that money to the college, but none of it to athletics and none all in capital letters? They're still heavily involved in the athletics. And that's a thing. Now, what'll be interesting is that how involved will Jimmy be 10 years down the line? I don't know. They like controlling things. So, do I like the
Russell
Preds?
Smith has an idea.
Go ahead.
He said that he'd love to see Dave Serrano come home to be the pitching coach.
Dave Serrano coached his team this year to the World Series in their level. So he's doing a really great job over at Johnson. I would imagine Dave Serrano would. I would imagine Dave Serrano would. I'm not gonna speak for him, but I'd imagine he would talk to them if they wanted to talk. He loves living here. Matt, what kind of pitching coach? And I know he is a pitching coach by trade, but what kind of pitching coach is Serrano, Matt?
Yeah, well, I mean, he hasn't been an actual pitching coach in probably 15 or 20 years, but yeah, he's a pitching coach at heart. So I'd be curious to see that. That's actually, it's a really good thought by Dubsy.
Yeah, it is.
West High grad, by the way. And kind of intriguing, a guy in your backyard that knows what it's like pitching in this league. I mean, kind of a different sport than it was even when he was there, with how offensive it is. But that'd be certainly somebody that you can talk to, even if it's not to talk about hiring him. Maybe he's got some ideas, and his kind of coaching tree might extend somewhere that Elanders doesn't, and they can. And I think he's the guy that would like to help Tennessee in any way he could. I mean, he's said that on air to us. So that's certainly something they could. That'd be an avenue that Elander could certainly entertain and discuss with. It's a really good thought.
Elander told me. I mean, Elander. Serrano told me when he did a listener watch party with us several years ago. He said, "I got one more year left out there at Irvine. I'm gonna retire back here." I said, "Really?" He said, "Tony, don't you see all the ex-coaches that come here and stay and live?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Well, you chose well staying here." I said, "Yeah, I like to think so." But we got to talking, and he said, and what's interesting about him is Tony followed him here. The guy never, ever had a cross word to say about Tony. He, on the air and off the air, he said, he got it done, I didn't. I got nothing against him. Those guys got it done, I didn't. You know what Tony said about him off the air? He said, the guy I inherited the program from was taking it in the right direction. And there was a pretty good ball club there. Wasn't great, but pretty good. The guy he inherited from destroyed it. And those of you that know the inside stories and what Serrano walked into here, know. And those of you that don't, I can't help you. There are stories with that nut, that Raleigh guy, that I could never, ever, fifth hour, I couldn't repeat the way he would talk to his players. Matt, am I lying about that?
No, it was very telling that Todd Raleigh never got another coaching job in the NCAA once he got fired from Tennessee.
Not a sniff. I asked Serrano about one of those stories, the way this guy talked to kids. Serrano told me, he said, when I got the job, he said, I knew how this guy behaved. And I told the kids, if you ever hear me talking like that to a player and you don't punch me in the face, I got no respect for that.
It's also fitting that Todd Riley came under the recommendation of Tim Corbin. That's also telling.
Wow. You know, here's the bottom line. If I would have looked up right now, if I would have looked up, oh, Knoxville Smiles. If I would have looked up right now and looked at the likes for 169, we have 119 likes. My little rant was worth 20 likes. I'd have told you the story. Like if I had 200 likes, I'd have told you the story. But you're 119 likes. You're not getting that story out of me. Matt or Brian, anything else for us today? You guys were great.
Sounds like that's a wrap for Reynolds.
Thank you, Brian. Matt, anything else?
I can't top Brian's line. That's a great line to end on.
Thank you, guys. Love y'all. Thank you. What did you like? What did y'all like? Was Reynolds Wrap better or Saran Wrap? Are they the same product? Saran Wrap, Reynolds Wrap? Because that is a wrap for Reynolds. But see, the good thing about Reynolds is he gets to save face here, like Taylor said, because he can always say, hey, look, first of all, this thing was shotgunned. I didn't come to work. I came to work with Tony and Frank. I didn't come to work for this guy. So he can kind of say that in an interview. Straight truth. And then he can also say, hey, they didn't give me a very good team to work with. This is true. This is true. No, Reynolds Wrap's not foil. No, Reynolds Wrap, that's not true at all. That's not aluminum foil. It's wrap. Reynolds Wrap is wrap. And the way I know is I was watching wrestling last night, WWF, Pat Patterson on color commentary with Vince McMahon. This is like recorded off somebody's VHS back in the day, 1983, in Hartford, Connecticut, on a Hartford station. Reynolds Wrap is aluminum foil? Really? I got to go watch that commercial again. What was that? If I do this on YouTube, it'll get me kicked. So, Tony, how did you get kicked off? Me explain to Laura later. We're banned again. How did you get banned? Oh, I decided to play a video online because the YouTube algorithm will flag me, I think, if I play somebody else's. Saran Wrap is the plastic stuff. Roustabout said, Google it, Muppet. Hewitt Pruitt, you're foiled again, Basilio. All the barbecue guys use. Is it two products? Does Reynolds also have do they also have a plastic product? Because on the commercial, they balled it up and then it unballed. Whereas the other leading product just sat there. I know what I watched last night, damn it, from 1983. I know what I watched. Jacob Dorman, Tony doesn't cook. No, that you can say that again. I do not cook. I do my cooking with a microphone in my hand. And every once in a while, an instrument. But mostly my microphone. Every once in a while, I can cook with a guitar. Just a little gold dust for you here. Every once in a while, with an instrument in my hand. But y'all been fun. It's been great. Maybe I'll link that thing in the blog tomorrow that I was talking about, and be several thousand people going, what the hell is he linking old wrestling for? But Vol Moose, too many left-handed cigarettes. Yeah. I'll tell you what, that would have been my left-hand cigarette days. Back then, we were smoking Mexican Marlboros before they were cool. Now, everybody. Nick Jackson, I wasn't listening yet, but how did Evan Russell night compared to the 22 Bama game post-game show? Oh, nothing's like the Bama 22 post-game show. However, you know what? I'm going to dig up, since it's the 5th year anniversary of that. I'm going to see if Laura can find that. We need to run that tomorrow after our show and celebrate the 5th year anniversary of it. I think y'all would get a kick out of that. I think I would get a kick out of that. We were in here hooting, hollering, yelling, screaming. People were calling in, talking about how, and people were like crying that night. They were so excited about what they saw. I love this team, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, love you, appreciate you. Tomorrow we'll do the point spread stuff. We'll go through all that. We got a lot. You know what? There's just only so much time. There's just only so much of me to go around and around. By the way, shout out to Nashville Lee. His father passed away. If you're a praying person, please keep Lee in your prayers. Lee would appreciate that. Lee loved his dad. Lee's dad, avid outdoorsman. And Lee, if you hear this, when you hear this, know we love you. And you're in our prayers, man. On that note, Bino and myself, God willing, kick it with you tomorrow. Hughie will be with us. And then the great Ben McKee makes a return engagement to the program, the show of shows. I want to thank TGMD and Brian Hartman for their contributions today. I want to thank Taylor, and also Byron wrote a great essay. Taylor with a great baseball piece on the Byron wrote a great piece just on the ethos of being a Vol fan. And I so identify with it because as a Philly fan, there's just so much we have in common in the Philadelphia deal with Tennessee fans. Just the concept of waiting for that other shoe to drop. There's almost a perverse pleasure in the pain that a lot of people would never understand. And then shout out to whoever it was on Twitter who talked about how Nick Saban ushered in the absolute consolidation of power era, the money era, the super coach era, the overpaid, inflated coach era, the world domination, and then got before Congress yesterday. He said it'd be like an arsonist going up there and explaining and talking about how the wildfires are burning out of control. Somebody on Twitter yesterday. Nick Saban's now going to fix what he broke. It's about damn time somebody said that. It was great. Totally great. Love you, appreciate you. Peace on the street. See you, wouldn't want to be you. G to the B to the O. Tomorrow I'll be on here with Bino. All right, let's run it back. You know what, y'all? I'm deviating from my septum today. I'm actually going to eat an enchilada. Laura brought me home a salad. Go! How do you like those apples? Yeah, the pitching coach, man, he had to go, but he can tell his own story. We were trying to be fair to him today on the air during the show. But today, Josh Elander, the way I look at that is, Gary Sturm, if you're listening, he's like when you bring a puppy home and you notice about 6 months later they drop them. See, that didn't make the recording. See how we roll here? Another award-winning